Alright guys, happy Friday and welcome to Fan Mail Friday, a series where I take your answers and I try to do them on a weekly basis, or excuse me, your questions, and I give you the best answers for what I think is appropriate for answering the question. Anyways, let's get on with the first. Alright, the first question comes in and he says, "Dear Mr. Boss, this time of the year for most people is midterm exams, and even though many have said they were easy, the amount of studying is seeming endless. I'm a freshman this year, so it is my first year of having exams throughout every class. I really just don't know a good format in general of how to study for it. If you can tips would be greatly appreciated and helpful, and just any information and advice would be nice as well." Anyways, so yeah, being a college freshman, in my second semester, I can give you a few tips that are very helpful. For me, it was trying to pace myself. I don't know how many midterms you have on the same day. Look at that guy dolphin diving. Anyways, but I had about one midterm each day. And what I would do is I would, gather my notes, gather everything that I needed to get together, and just like, okay, this is what I need to study, and I'm going to do this at this time and on that day, just being very organized. The next thing I did is I found a bunch of people who were taking the same class, and I studied with them, because when you study with groups, I know some people don't prefer to study in groups, but I like alone time studying as well, with like note cards and flashcards. But when studying in a group, you get different opinions and you get different people's insights, and they can tell you maybe a thing or two that you didn't know. So it's definitely worth checking out, getting a study group together that can help you develop thoughts and thesis and ideas on whatever topic you're studying. Anyways, good luck with your midterms. Hope you do well. Alright, so the next question says, "I'm currently working on my SMG Diamond Camo. However, it seems to be hard to get the headshots for the Vector and Chicom. Do you have any tips or class builds that may help me out? Thank you, a lawyer viewer." Anyways, so yeah, I'm working on Diamond Camo as well for pretty much all of my guns. I've been a little busy prestiging, but you've picked some fairly good guns to go for Diamond for. The Chicom and the Vector have very little recoil, which make them headshot monsters. One thing I do in particular that doesn't, that might sound a bit odd and a bit, retouche, but works for me, is not trying to go for headshots. When I try to go for headshots, I feel I lose gunfights too often. Instead, what I do is, I just, on every map, I will use that gun, and I will go into I will go into games just looking to get kills with them, and eventually you will get enough headshots with that certain gun. Yeah, if you see an AFK guy, or you see a guy standing still in a corner, yeah, go for that headshot. Put in a special emphasis on getting the headshot, but don't make it your primary objective in the game. If you do that, you'll feel like you'll lose too many gunfights. If it's a visual thing, you can't feel like you lock onto the headshot. Put a red dot sight, or a sight that works really well for me is the hybrid sight. I don't use like the extended view of the hybrid sight, but I like the red dot, yellow dot look of the hybrid sight better than I do the red dot, so sometimes I use that. Anyways, those are my tips. Good luck. With the Chicom, definitely use it in bursts. That's definitely more efficient than using a full auto version, because when you use the full auto version, you can get way too out of control, and a lot of the times I find myself just firing from the hip, which makes it really rare if you're gonna lock a headshot on someone. So I would suggest keeping that gun burst fired, maybe a nice red dot, and if you want to be sneaky, do a silencer, see if you can get around people. But other than that, those are my tips to get headshots for those guns. Alright, the last question is, "I just got an Xbox," and I think you went to say, "and Black Ops 2. Do you have any good tips that can help me?" Well, I don't know how old you are. Obviously, if your parents have allowed you to get an Xbox and Black Ops 2, I'm assuming you're the age of 14, 13, 15, around that time frame. But anyways, when I first started, I got my Xbox right when my Xbox 360, when Halo 2 came out. So the Xbox was still prevalent, and the Xbox 360 was still kind of new. So what I did was I tried to make friends with as many people as possible, and that was funny because the very first game that I played, someone made fun of my gamer tag. My very first gamer tag was Xbox generated. It was like jet harp, like I fly a jet and play the harp. Yeah, those two things combined right there. Really original, I know, guys. But yeah, so the first thing I tried to do was make friends with other people, which didn't work too well, because not everyone's gonna be friends with the squeaker who's trying to play Halo 2, calling everyone a noob, and telling them they don't know anything about the game. But my first tip: make friends with people who A, are your same skill level, and B, who get on around the same time as you. Yeah, it's nice to have a guy that you can play with, but if he's only on like Thursday nights at like 11 o'clock in the morning, or 11 o'clock p.m., I don't really know. that's not going to really work to your schedule all that well, and it's kind of going to be difficult for you to play with him on a consistent basis and get into a good groove with him. Now, you also want to play someone on your same skill level. Let's say you're around a 1.5 KD in Black Ops 2. You don't want to be running with guys who, happen to get 50-0s every game, so have a 4.4 KD, just because you're kind of going to get lost in the shuffle there, and eventually they'll move on. They won't want to play with you because they'll know that you'll be slowing them down maybe a little bit. So yeah, find people that are your same skill level, same age, same time, and just practice. Just practice when you can after school. Maybe buy a strategy manual, or hey, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I sometimes give tips on how to do well in the game. But anyways, guys, this has been Fan Mail Friday. I hope you guys have appreciated this episode. I know I enjoy making these and answering your questions. Like I said, have a nice day, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video.
Good fight. Time to get paid.